Hi everybody, my name is Logan Cassidy, and today I'd like to talk to you about change, and specifically change and how it relates to business. So when we think about this, we start to run into other words too, such as modernization, transformation, and innovation. But these words mean a couple of different things to a couple of different people and organizations. So for example, for some organizations, these are just buzzwords, hearsay that companies around them are doing or noise on the back of a marketing slide. But they have this old way of thinking of if the process isn't broken, don't fix it. But then we have other people in organizations who view the words such as innovation, transformation, and modernization as more than just their definition, but representation of a vehicle to help take their companies to successful platforms that they've never been to before. So that's exactly what I'd like to talk to you about today, is the two different types of people in organizations, those who embrace change and those who are afraid to embrace change, and how Dell Technologies is helping organizations in both categories. So when we look at this, a lot of people like to talk about the forward-thinking, successful companies of the world, such as the Ubers and Netflixes out there. But what about the flip side of that coin? What about the Blockbusters and Pan American Airlines and those companies who don't exist anymore because they weren't innovating and changing fast enough? Because statistically speaking, only 12% of the Fortune 500 companies from 50 years ago exist today. That means only 60 companies out of the Fortune 500 are still around from 50 years ago. If we took that stat and we took that theory and applied it to our Fortune 500 today, and we just assumed that only the top 60 companies are going to make it and be relevant in 50 years, we would see that companies, for example, such as HP would not make the cut. Morgan Stanley, American Airlines, large household names like this that wouldn't make the top 60, that statistically speaking wouldn't be relevant in 50 years from now. So, how can we ensure that your company, whether you're in the Fortune 500 or small to medium-sized business, is going to be in that top 12% and going to be relevant in years to come? And the answer is simple. You have to be an agent of change, and you have to embrace technology. So when we think about today, it's not enough for companies just to think about their product or service that they're offering, but it's almost more important or equally as important to think about how they're providing that product or service to the end user. So, for example, this is when we can talk about Uber. Taxi cabs and Ubers do the same thing. They take you from point A to point B. But Uber, for example, is so much better because of the way that they're engaging their end user. Other companies, such as Domino's Pizza, who don't necessarily have the best pizza in the world, but they do have the best end user experience, allows them to rank second in their industry. Again, because the way that they're engaging their customer is more sufficient than other companies in how they're doing it. So, those are two examples. Harley-Davidson is another one. So creating their mobile retailing experience in augmented reality so you can see what it's like to actually ride on a motorcycle. So these are just a few examples of companies and how they're transforming and changing for the future to continue their relevancy. But now I'd like to talk to you about how companies all over the world are transforming and how Dell Technologies is the only vendor that can help them and do it under one logo. So they're doing this in four major transformations. The first is digital transformation. So changing the way that we engage our end users with rapid application development and making sure that we're agile in doing so. We do this with Dell Technologies with Pivotive Cloud Foundries, offering you a platform as a service so that you can develop cloud-native applications for your end users in a rapid and agile manner. Secondly, IT transformation. We want to make sure that you're modernizing, automating, and transforming your data center so that we can get you out of the business of managing your infrastructure and into the business, again, of managing your applications and revenue generating things for the business. So we do that with flash technology, converge, hyper-converge, software-defined, scale-out, cloud integration. And specifically under Dell Technologies, we leverage Dell EMC's best-of-breed portfolio, VMware, and Virtustream Cloud for this. Next, workforce transformation. So we need to ensure that our end users have the devices and systems that they need in order to be productive and be innovating for the business. And work is no longer just a place, but it's something that we can do anywhere because we're also interconnected. So we need to make sure that while they're using these systems, they can be connected anywhere they go. And lastly, through these three pieces, we need to make sure that we have security all across the board. So throughout your entire ecosystem, from the edge to the core to the cloud, making sure that you have threat detection, network security, and also business continuity. We're doing this with RSA, SecureWorks, and Dell EMC's data protection portfolio. So, how can your company be part of the 12% of businesses who will be relevant in the future? Take words like modernization, automation, and transformation, and allow those to be the vehicle for your success, and allow for Dell Technologies to be the engine for that vehicle. Or you can just hop on the back of a Harley.